Well, we have registered dietitian Andrea Holwagner in studio with us this morning. We've been teasing it throughout the morning, Andrea, because we're talking dieting and food rules, and it can really play with your mental health. Sometimes it's just in your subconscious. So break down, what are food rules and why do they develop?
Okay, and you notice I don't have any vegetables here. It's all about the carby things, because usually when we talk food rules, it's usually about sweets and savory things and carbohydrates in general. So there's a lot of fear and overwhelm around these types of foods on how to manage them. And I'm here to say, carbs are life. We need to have these for joy. Our brain runs exclusively on them. There's no need to kind of wipe them out. We really just need to understand, well, if I've got food rules around potato chips or chocolate, how do I start to bend those food rules and just develop a healthier relationship with food? Because psychologically, we all want what we can't have. So if you tell the chocoholic dietitian, which is me, you can't have chocolate, I will hunt you down over time. I will probably overconsume chocolate.
Oh yes, we're the same.
It is far better to start to say, hey, all foods can fit. My favorite hashtag is always balanced, not clean. It's always about how do I find this balance between these two worlds.
And sometimes easier said than done, because diet culture, I feel like, has really, especially for women, has really gotten into our brains. So how can we break that habit? How can we retrain our brain so when we're looking at food, we're not immediately feeling guilty before, diving into those chips?
You bet, and it's a process. We do a ton of work in our dietitian practice on this, and the first thing that we want to do is just start to be aware if you even have any food rules, because quite often they're embedded subconsciously deep down in how we were raised or what diet we might be following, and you might not be aware that they're actually there. So bring some awareness to statements like, I can't have that, or I can only have this if I exercise today, or I'm only allowed to have 1 square of chocolate. I mean, I don't even know who these people are. I love chocolate so much, that doesn't seem like a portion size that would lead to satisfaction.
1 whole bar of chocolate today.
So when we talk about eating, I always teach people that we want to go after what I call eating fully. And eating fully is really being able to leverage the left analytical side of our brain and the right intuitive creative brain. And so our body likes food rigidity. It likes to have some rules, but we don't want to approach, I can only eat this and never that in a very all or nothing type of way. And so we can use some of these healthy food rules around, I need to eat something when I wake up for good productivity in my day. I need to select foods that have got good carbs and protein for overall balance. So those kind of rough rules can be good to sort of lead our healthy eating day. But then we want to go over to the right side of the brain, which is where fun and intuition. I always say, what food sparks joy? Well, I have a few here. My mom's oatmeal cookies, the chocolate, these foods like spark joy. And here's where I want you to eat mindfully, soulfully. We talk about these as soulful foods. When you are eating the chocolate, you should not be multitasking. You should be one with the food. This should be like the most joyful, blissful thing that you are savoring. And when you eat that way with full permission to enjoy it guilt-free, less is actually more. So that's kind of how we want to eat, is, not healthful and soulful down here, and not all soulful foods with no consideration for health, but we do need to find that balance between those two.
And it can be really challenging, especially for some of us that have had those food rules in our brain for so long. So you do offer that guidance if somebody needed that extra help. So how can people reach out to you and your team if they want some extra help?
We'd love to help you with this. This is our favorite work when we get to teach people, how do we fit potato chips into your life? So it's healthstandnutrition.com is where you can find a blog post that dives deeper in this subject, and nutrition counseling, happy to help you there.
And that website on your screen there. She also has some great recipes on her website if you're looking for some recipe ideas. So thank you to Andrea. That website, once again, healthstandnutrition.com, to learn more about nutrition and, as mentioned, some awesome recipes and some tidbits.